Hello and welcome to another episode of Punto How To. My name is Andy and this is my 1998 Fiat Punto Cabriolet. Very rare car, only about 12 of this particular model on the road, which is the 1.2 16 valve 85 horsepower engine. This is a 1998 model which was built by Bertone in Italy up until 1999. And this particular car is in a very sorry condition, which you will know if you have seen any of my earlier videos. In this video I'm not doing any work on this car, but what I am going to talk about is the manuals, the service manuals that you may want to buy in order to be able to work on your own cars. This being a convertible model, there is not a lot in the way of service manuals, especially regarding the roof mechanism and things like that. Thankfully that is not too complicated, so that I should be okay with. But what I do need to do is I need to understand the engine, the gearbox, the suspension, and the way to go about that is by buying yourself a good service manual or handbook. So with this car, when I bought it, it came with this manual. This is the 1994 to 1999 Haynes manual. This, I suspect, may have been with the car ever since it was brand new, because there is a sticker on the front of it that says that 30 minutes of mechanics time cost much more than this manual, based on the Retail Motor Industries Federation source from 1998. So that is the same age as this car. I suspect this manual has been with this car for a lot of years. It is very well used, as you can see by the state of the spine there, and I'll show you in depth in a moment, but it covers a whole host of information on the workings and mechanics of the car and how to work on your car, including, and importantly, all the torque specs and all the information regarding actually doing the jobs properly, which can be information which is very difficult to find out if you don't have the manual. This being the 1.2 16 valve 85 horsepower engine is not covered by that manual, so Haynes recommends that you get this manual, which is the Fiat Punto 1999 to 2003 Mark II manual. So it covers all of the Mark II things, various body components, suspension, etc., most of which won't be relevant to this car, but what is relevant to this car is the engine, and this covers the 85 horsepower engine. So again, I'll show you a bit more information on that in a moment, but these books break down into chapters, and in those chapters they will have things like the different engine types. So the other manual for the Mark I covers the 1.1 litre single point fuel injection, it covers the 1.2 single point fuel injection, and it covers the 1.7 diesel engine and the 16 valve multi-point fuel injection engine as well. This tends to be, I think this just covers the 8 valve and the 16 valve 1.2 litre engines. It doesn't cover any of the diesels or any of the, like the 1.8 HGT engine, it doesn't cover that either. Then on top of those two books, if you have a much newer model Punto, there is the 2003 onwards Mark II, what's known as the Mark IIB, like the first car that I featured on this channel. That covers the petrol models only, I believe. It doesn't cover the diesel engines. Gets a bit complicated, but if you want to get a Haynes manual that covers the diesel engine for the Fiat Punto, then you have to buy a Fiat Panda manual. That covers the 1.3 litre diesel engine, and then newer than that there is the Grande manual, which covers Grande models, and it also, I believe, covers the Evo model. I didn't have that manual. I worked on my Fiat Punto Evo and the Grande without those manuals. I think I did get one for the Grande. Don't think I used it much. If you go back through the channel, you'll see I didn't do many videos on the Grande. I didn't keep it for very long. The other thing that Haynes did, which was a very special manual, in the late 1990s, early 2000s, specifically for a few select models. The Mark I Punto, they did one for the Citroen Saxo, I think they might have done one for the Ford Fiesta or Ford Escort, I can't remember exactly now, but very specific models. They made this manual, and I have picked up the manual for the Fiat Punto. So I'm going to open this now and show you this very special manual, which you cannot buy new anymore. We have this very special manual. I'm just going to get a knife because I'm going to open this up. So this is something that they only did in the early 2000s, at the height of the car modifying scene, when people with Puntos, Saxos, Ford Fiestas, etc. Would be looking to modify their cars. And this is a very special Haynes manual. This is the Haynes Max Power Fiat Punto, a definitive guide to modifying your Fiat Punto. This, again, I got this off Vinted, and this is a brand new, still sealed in pack, and I think I paid £4 or £5 for this. Very cheap, brand new manual. Now, I don't intend to be modifying this car. I intend to put it back to factory, but I thought I had to buy this because out of interest. I remember seeing them on the shelf in places like Halfords, which is a big auto factor company here in the UK. Seeing them on the shelves in Halfords at the time, and I could not resist buying one so that I could have a look through it. Now I have a Mark I again, and seeing what sort of things that they recommended in the Max Power Punto Haynes manual. So, as I said, it's brand new, it's still sealed. As you can see, it's still got the security tag strip on it. These were really expensive when they were new. I think, again, they were probably about £20, which when you're driving your first cars was a lot of money to spend on something like this. So first impressions on the front cover, we have a lovely Max Power modified Fiat Punto in yellow with Ferrari Enzo style bonnet scoop, or F50 style bonnet scoop, Moret headlights, quad headlights, single wiper conversion I can see there in the middle, which would usually be achieved by just taking off the windscreen wiper from the car, fitting it halfway up and then it sweeping backwards and forwards. Some sort of body kit on this car as well. No idea what that was now, probably at the time I would have known. So we've got a full list here. Ford Escort, Vauxhall Nova, Saxo 306, Corsa, Golf, 206, Fiesta, Clio, Focus, Honda Civic. They were all the manuals you could get at the time. And then showing a before and after of modifying the Punto. We do have a little bit on the cabriolet there, so I'll be interested to read that. Very, very shiny L-Reg and M-Reg Fiat Puntos. Fitting LED basics. I mean, LEDs at that time would have been quite rare. We'd have been fitting cold cathode tubes and things like that. Fitting an alarm. Tailgate and boot lid smoothing. How to do that. Bonnet vents. Fitting with different sized wheels and how to fit the wheels, and spigot rings, putting wheels on, supporting the car on jacks. suspension modifications. So this is very much the definitive modification guide rather than just the manual maintenance guide. On the particular to the Punto, we've got changing the door trims, how to take off the windscreen winders, painting things, modifying the gear stick, fitting a starter button, removing airbags. Now that's something that they wouldn't be condoning these days. In the UK it will fail an MOT if the car was originally fitted with an airbag and the airbag has been removed. Induction kits. There's my little 16 valve engine there. Changing HT leads. Fitting adjustable pressure regulators for the fuel, something that people used to do a lot of in the early 2000s. Braided hose kits. These were basically braids that you put over the top of existing hoses and cut to length and put on these sort of fake trims that made everything look fancy, but they were all a bit comical really. Engine tuning. Now this is something that the car would definitely benefit from because this car is completely lacking in power. You need to work out what's going on there. And then a little bit on the legalities of modifying a car as well. So it'll be interesting to sit down and have a proper read through all of this, and then it's got some more information in the back there on the standard Haynes manuals. There's actually a list here of all of the Haynes manuals. What set this particular manual apart from the others is, as you could see as I was going through, is it's all in colour. Most of the Haynes manuals were not in colour, they were black and white. But yeah, I'm going to have a good look through that. I'm going to have a look through the other manuals I've got, and then we're going to jump into getting this car back to some sort of functioning condition. One final thing that I'm just going to show you before I finish up the video is the engine bay, because I'm not sure I've really shown you the engine bay too much. This is a 1.2 litre 16 valve engine. It produces supposedly 85 horsepower, which in this car gives it a 0 to 60 in around 11-12 seconds, which sounds terrible, but it's actually pretty comparable with modern Fiat 500s and things like that that also have the 1.2 litre engine fitted to modern cars. Also very similar to the most recent twin air engines that were fitted to the Fiat 500 and the Fiat Pandas. A lot of those were the 85 horsepower engine, which again 0 to 60 in around 11-12 seconds. What I would like to do with this car is have the air filter out, just check what sort of state that's in and change that. That's probably going to get done anyway regardless of the state of it. Take the HT leads out, take the plugs out. I'm going to do an inspection of the cylinder bores with a borescope and just have a look and see what sort of state they're in. Have a look at the oil as well, change the oil filters, look at the cam belt, look at the drive belts, look at the gearbox oil as well. Just generally service every single thing that I can underneath the bonnet to get it up to scratch and get it all up to date and make it as best as I possibly can, and then see what sort of performance we get. It's got a battery on it that does start and work, but it's a bit weak. Could possibly do with a slightly bigger battery. Power steering on this car as well. There's a power steering reservoir here, which is a big bonus on these cars, because I remember my old 1.2, I think it might have been a 1.1 litre actually, at 60 horsepower Mark 1 3-door that I had. It's a 60S, so I think that was a 1.1. Didn't have power steering, and that it drove reasonably well for a car without power steering, but it's still a bit of a tank by modern standards to not have power steering, so it's a bonus that this car has got it. And it's hydraulic power steering, not like the later Mark II Puntos that all had electric power steering. It's a little bit more connected to the driver. But that's everything for this video. I'm not really going to go into too much more depth today. Thank you for watching. If you are interested in these sorts of videos and you want to follow the restoration process of this car, do click subscribe, and make sure you click the little bell icon there as well, so that you get notifications of when I do upload new videos. That bell notification won't bombard you with messages and notifications if I upload short videos. Please, 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 at the moment we're not being picked up by the YouTube algorithm, and I suspect that might be because I've not been posting videos for quite a while. So please consider giving thumbs up and leaving comments. I would find it really useful if you could leave comments on any little tips, tricks, hints, tools, anything that you think would help me in this restoration. I really do need to track down some parts as well, so if you are a viewer from Italy, where a lot of the parts for these cars are still available, then please do drop me a message in the comments below, because there's going to be quite a few parts that I need, including but not limited to some of the rubber seals from around the doors and roof, as well as some little trim panels here and there, things that are not very easily available here in the UK anymore, but things like glove box door on this car is broken, the door handle on the driver's side is in a very poor state, things like that which I can't get hold of very easily. If you know where I can get those parts, or you have those parts, please do get in touch with me, because I really could do with getting hold of some of those bits. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Take care for now.